Welcome to devotion. Good morning, Holy Spirit. Good morning. Good morning, Holy Spirit. Good morning. I'm walking, so I'm out of breath. Not out of breath, but I'm breathing that way. Good morning, Holy Spirit. Good morning. Good morning, Holy Spirit. Good morning. So, I'm just strolling, Holy Spirit, and I'm thinking I'm talking to you, or, I'm just thinking, I guess. And then all of a sudden, you give me the task again to do another devotion. Like, okay, is anything personal, private? Okay. And I have no idea where this is gonna go, because I was just kind of thinking of something, and I'm like, oh Lord, I can't go into that online, can I? So I guess nothing's off limits in in my spiritual relationship, I guess. Spirit, oh, that's what it is into everything, every aspect of our lives, of our hearts, of our minds, our souls, our spirit. Okay, so I'm about to just go ahead and jump on into there. I still haven't learned to like not dodge it or hesitate. It's just still there regardless. I don't know if that's ever going to leave my hesitation, but nevertheless, I flipped on the record button out of obedience, because I know at the end of this, whatever it is, my one-on-one with Spirit, there's going to be something, I guess, positive or helpful. Although I don't know where it's leading to, but I'm sure it's something, good, great for my spirit, my well-being, put it that way. But I'm like, oh, okay, let me stop. Okay, so I was thinking of, I was actually talking with someone, and I was describing my journey, my assignment to do devotions and to be transparent, and I guess and vulnerable in that, way. And I'm asking this person, why do you think God chose me to do this? And we're just talking, and let's see, what did he say? Did I get an answer? Let me think back to the conversation, the convo. When I asked him, why do you think God chose me for this? What did he say? Because it would have stuck, whatever it was, but because I remember thinking, wait, what's your answer? Maybe that's why I can't think of it. I was looking for maybe a direct answer, but maybe it was an indirect answer, maybe something for me to kind of ponder. I'm not sure, because I didn't commit it to memory, or I didn't commit it, or I don't think I have. Maybe that's why I'm doing this discussion right now. So maybe that's why I don't remember, because it's something I have to ask myself. Oh. Okay. Why do I think? I know what we were talking about. So we were talking about, I guess, my being different. Actually, I thought about, maybe the reason God chose me for this particular assignment, because I'm a romantic person. I love going out to the park and into nature and to the ocean. So it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard at all to do that. Like, I love that. But it was more than just taking a walk and, sitting by the ocean or walking by the ocean and, looking at the birds and and the squirrels and all that. It was something deeper. So let me skip to the topic I was dodging. Fast men. Oh, that's where we were talking about. Okay. Fast as in F-A-S-T, and then men. So going back to the conversation, I guess it's going to tie in. I told him, I do remember before I even, because I've never really been on social media. I may scroll a couple of accounts or whatever, like years ago, or listen to some sermons or motivational, stuff, but I just wasn't really on it. I just created an account just to pretty much watch and listen. And maybe a few comments here or there, to let people know, yes, we hear you, we're here, we support you. Thank you for your ministry, or thank you for your benevolence, what you do for people. So that's important to give people their praises and just let them know, we support you. So, Spirit, I gotta let it all out. Okay. But I remember, I don't know if it's been years ago, or I don't think it's been quite years ago, but I remember thinking that's a task, because anytime you step out in front, not in front, but anytime you kind of just step out, I guess, in other words, I felt Spirit, I don't know if it just asked me or if it was talking to me prior to really me even starting the devotional journey online. Just saying you have to be real. You have to be real. There's enough of the other stuff out there, just to say that, not to diss or just, anyone else. But there's so much of the other stuff out there. And also, anyone can spot a phony, right? A fake person when you see one. You don't have to be religious or anything, but you just know, nah, they're, they just have other motives, ulterior motives, or they're, in it for something, but maybe not necessarily, a closer walk with God. Oh, that's the song for this devotion, just a closer walk with thee. As if I knew it, just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking close to thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. I am weak, but thou art strong. And I don't remember the rest of the words. Okay, stop it there. Okay, did that just shift me? Because when I sang that, I just kind of I drifted. That's, oh my gosh. Oh Lord, just fell in love. I'm in the park and I'm like, I drifted away with music. So again, that's why Spirit gave me this particular assignment, and to share it with people as well. Maybe to see a glimpse, or to see what it's like if they're curious to develop a spiritual relationship, or to fall in love with Spirit and with yourself. So, gosh, I can definitely beat around the bush, can't I, Lord? Just drag it out, just avoiding. So I guess that's, I don't know if I'm working on it, but it's just, okay, anyways. Spirit, where was I? So yes, there's enough of everything else, and one, like I said, you can spot a phone, you can spot, not that I would try to deceive or anything, but it's like, don't do something if you're not going to give it your all. In other words, I do believe I am an all or nothing kind of person. I don't know if that's a good thing to say, like all or nothing, because, words of grace and mercy, but that's kind of how I perceived myself before. But I just think that if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right. I want to give it my all. Like a spirit, you give me a task. I don't want to just I want to finish it. I want to do it. I want to complete it, and I want to be faithful to it. I don't know if that's just like a strong work ethic or just the love I have, that maybe spirits are a reason to draw me closer, or to talk to me, or to ask me to talk to it. And so I'm honored and I'm flattered that Spirit would want to spend that time with me, as it would with any one of us, right? So my posting it, I guess, as well, is a testimony that, yes, we're loved. I'm no more special than the next person. I just said yes. I just said yes. And it met me where I am. Like, everyone is different, your learning style, or how you communicate, the music that you like. I sing a lot of old songs, a lot of old gospel, R&B or whatever. Love songs. And during this journey, Spirit developed me as a writer. I didn't know that I would love to write. I amuse myself. Maybe that's another point as to why he chose me or asked me to do this. Because I discovered something about myself. When you go into a place of isolation, in a sense, not, completely isolated, but when you're just, stopping and thinking and talking to God, developing a spiritual relationship, you begin to discover yourself and find yourself. It begins to reveal who you are when you kind of quiet your surroundings, and you start listening and tapping in. And when I did that, and it surrounded me, it brought people in my path that were lovers of the art, poetry, music, painting, sculptures, all of that stuff. And so I'm engulfed in all of this positive, artistic energy. And that brought that out of me. It brought something. So that's another reason why Spirit asked me to do this, so I could find myself. I could see who I am. What gifts it gave me. So yes, it had to quiet those things that were around me that maybe hindered my vision, my sight. And so maybe because I am a transparent person. Well, no, I'm not. That's a lie. What did I just say? I will be transparent if it asks me to be. I will do it. I don't know if I was necessarily that before, or just too late to say, yeah, I'm a transparent person. I mean, maybe in a sense that I can't hide. Like, I really can't hide my true feelings. Like, it's in my face, my gestures, my expressions. Like, I can't. You can just see it all over me. So maybe, yeah, that is the correct term. I am transparent in the sense that, yeah, you can pretty much read me. There's no hiding. There's no poker face. I don't have that. Like, literally, you can probably figure me out, sum me up or whatever. No, I won't say that. But you'll see it and hopefully believe it's real. So, beating around the bush of the other topics. And being silly and quirky is loved by the Spirit. So if you're silly, you're quirky or whatever. You're eccentric, you're different, you love bright colors, you love whatever, to just do stuff that doesn't fit in, I guess, maybe, a bit of a misfit, then welcome to the club. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, there's no hiding it. It is what it is. These geese are so cute. They just be going in on this grass. Okay. So I guess I've been answering my own question. And that's why Spirit said, yeah, do this, because hopefully I would be honest in this journey, which I believe I have been and I am. Like, I don't want to, because it just wouldn't be right. It wouldn't feel right. My world wouldn't be right if I was dishonest. If I was just making up stuff and inventing things like, nah, Like, what's the point? So I can look back at all these devotions, and it's a love story. Through that, it truly is. So during this time, as I was pondering, I was talking with a person about, how I learned that I was a writer. I didn't know that was, really in me. I mean, I don't know if everyone's written a poem here or there, but to actually begin expressing so much through writing, like whoever I meet, whoever I talk to, their stories, I'm writing. Like, that's how I unpack, that's how I process, like, everything. And I was talking with him, and I was telling him I can't even watch TV like I used to. Not that I was a big TV watcher and movie watcher, but I had to unplug it and just put it in the box. Like, we have our phones. Well, I have my phone. I can watch maybe a couple movies that I saved or whatever. But all in all, I'm scrolling, and I can't even do it anymore. I said, I'd rather just make up my own storylines. That's what I do. That's how I amuse myself. I rather, I wait for spirit, okay, what's the next story? It gives me things. So maybe that's another reason why it asked me, because spirit is an awesome writer. The best. The best cartoonist, the best artiste, painter, all of those things. So I get to study under the best. Is it maestro? I don't know. The master, I guess. Yes, the master. I never thought about it that way. Wow. Yay. Have a direct connection to the master. So all of those artists you may admire, all those singers, where do you think those gifts come from? My Holy Spirit. Okay, anyway. I was trying to keep that on log, but it's coming out. Okay, anyways. Thank you, Spirit. So during this journey, in between the devotions I'm writing, I write the story of the love story. I've said it over and 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 over again in my devotions about the humanitarian that's afflicted. And oh, Spirit, where's this going? But the character of Reese, which the person I was talking on the phone with said, they knew it was me. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm living it. I'm going through this in my head or whatever. Okay, you figured me out. No secrets. Has to unpack her own stuff, her own past, traumas, childhood, relationships, everything. Studies, path, purpose, vision, strengths, weaknesses, or whatever that you have. And spirit is so involved in every aspect of our lives, even in our personal, our private thoughts, what we think are private. Because even in my daydreams, even in my fantasies, it's okay, what are you doing? Wait, hold up. What are you doing here? Spirit. Really? And even if I'm trying to kick someone to the curb, even in my daydreams, it's why are you doing that? Because it's looking at my heart. What would possess me to do such a thing? And long story short, I'm oh, Spirit. Bottom line, I'm I can't do it. I ain't got time. He has too many issues. That's where I was in my head. That's my truth. I'm he's not coming out of it, and I'm tired. I'm over it. I don't want to do this. It's too much. And till I was sitting under that, I think the lady, one of the people I mentioned that were, into the arts. I mentioned her already. And she's telling me a story of her son-in-law she took in, who was afflicted. And this is after I've been writing poetry. I had no idea, but because I've sit under her, because I'm with her, then, maybe I just pick it up. So where others would shun him or maybe not understand his sickness, his illness, his mental illness, she took him in. And it's not that she knew immediately what to do, but she learned. And she loved on him. And she gave him a home. And I'm like, wow. So she's talking to me, and she's older, you know. I'm listening. I'm receiving. I'm witnessing God's love through her testimony, through her journey. And because of what she shared with me, I'm like, oh, I felt like I was an extension of her, and posting those, the poetry, the poems about those subject matters, and the novel or the love story of Night, and the other poems that were kind of, in the same subject matter of not dealing with mental illness, but coping with someone you love, or knowing how to help and to love and not run from it, but hopefully be guided by the Holy Spirit in how you approach and how you help and how you love. This devotion is getting long. Okay. I say that because some sites have a limit, but I'll just keep going. Spirit, I won't stop because of a timer. So yeah, Spirit checked me. It talked to me. Not checked me in a bad way, but it talked to me about even in my fantasies, if I'm not necessarily trying to be mean and nasty, but if I think that I can't, it's going to address that. Why can't I? Why can't I listen? Why would I run from someone spilling their heart or needing help? And so then, therefore, the story was born, I guess, and developed, over almost like a year. And I'm so appreciative of that. I'm so appreciative that the Spirit met me where I am, because I love to just, dream and imagine and whatnot. And it showed me, it gave me a storyline, to write about, and put people in my path that shared their true stories with me that, was a part pretty much. It really influenced how I see certain things, how I view people, how I view myself. I learned a lot about myself, my own character, my own personality, and having to open up to see that, oh, you know what, I could do better. This isn't cool. This isn't okay. Like, why would I do that? Why would I treat someone that way? Make them feel like, no, you're going to be a burden. I don't, versus at least talk and try. If it's so that's where, okay, fast men is tying back, I guess, Lord. Because I was speaking with the person on the phone, the one I mentioned earlier, and I'm like, I even talked about, I mentioned this, in the devotion, that I just can't watch the same things like I used to as I draw closer to the Holy Spirit. Sorry, I'm in this Geesis space. Geesis, is that a word? Goose's space. Let me go the other direction so I don't invade this space. Okay. What was I talking about? Lord, am I trying? Okay. I can't watch the same things that I used to. I just can't, since I've been drawing closer to the Holy Spirit. They just aren't appealing. You know what I mean? I'd rather just make up my own. I feel better. I don't feel like I just watched. I don't feel, that feeling. I know what we talked about as well, because I asked him, why do you think Spirit? Okay, anyways, another point was, because of the spiritual journey, I was able to write the love story that involves the Holy Spirit. Is a spiritual love story. So I was saying, when I scroll, I don't see, even if I go to the romantic category or the other, on those apps, movie apps, I'm like, is this romance? Like, what is, I just couldn't connect to it. And I was talking with this person, there's just a lot of stuff about crime and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, are they only able to write about, writers can only really write about what they know or their experiences. So to write something spiritual, you have to go on a journey. And I'll leave that point there. So going back to, yes, things just aren't appealing. And I was thinking, well, maybe, oh, I know what I was talking about earlier. If I'm going to do it, I have to be real. Because like I said, anybody can spot a phony. Like, who wants to listen to someone that's just, not real, not being authentic? Authenticity is everything. And I know I'm not going to tune into someone I think is just, BSing. You know what I mean? So I heard that, but this was not way before, but before I got the assignment to do the devotions, to post them at least. Before I started writing, I didn't even know, that I would start writing, poetry like that. Experiences, putting it into poems and whatnot, or stories or songs. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I just, I did not know what, I guess, Spirit was planning for me. So it's, not one day at a time, but it's just to roll, just to keep going, keep trusting. So I'm like, yeah, I get it, Spirit. Like, hopefully I'm not that person that's, going to turn away. Like, I don't see myself ever doing something like that. That's going to just flip out or switch, in other words. Because that was actually part of the sermon today at church. When people get something, they seem very humble and meek in the beginning, and then they get a position or something, and then they just switch. Like, what happened? They become different. I'm like, I'm like, Lord, I don't, but, I know, well, the minister was saying, he didn't see it in that person. Prior, that wasn't the image that the person, it just, they didn't think it was possible until they got a position or whatever. And I'm thinking now, I guess I'm unpacking a bit of that sermon. And yes, I'm all over the place a bit. Oh my gosh. This is so random, but these mushrooms look like an actual hand. See how I just see things differently. This is crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. What is that? Oh, they are mushrooms. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, I should get a picture of that and just post it with this devotion because it's so groovy. Oh, let me stop. Wait, will it stop the recording though? Maybe I can do it. Oh, I can't because of the, okay. Oh, wow. But they're like mushrooms. Watch the Smurfs or something. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. What was I talking about? Girl, get it together. Lord, these emotions are just, ooh. Oh, Lord. Oh, about people having authority and then they change and they switch. But I'm like, I don't think that's me. Like, but obviously, Spirit knows who we are. Things that we may not even see. So if it doesn't tell us to go a certain route, it's for a reason. Because we may just not have realized there may be something within us that has yet come forward. But if it's triggered, it could just run amok. Like, okay. So I believe the minister was talking about isolation. I'm like, yeah, the Spirit, not isolation in a bad way, because I know that term can mean several things, but isolation in the sense that, okay, you're moving away from the distractions, the things that are maybe not good, in other words, period, it can be interpreted many ways, but for this devotion, it's just meaning I'm in a space where I can listen, I can grow, I can heal. Not a negative way, like everything's cut off, but, and I can't, no, not in that sense. Still, because, I guess that makes sense, because I see things coming forward that I didn't realize were there. Okay, Lord. So, going back to the novel and to the writing and the journey, I get it that Spirit is in every aspect of me, of my mind and my soul, what I'm thinking, my thoughts. Because whatever I'm thinking, that's probably most likely how I would react if a situation actually presented itself, or how I view people, or maybe how I help, what ministries I go into. You know, if I'm judging secretly, but just not openly, like, no. So it knows all, that it knows all and sees all. And so I'm like, yeah, Spirit, I don't think I'm fast. Like, I don't think I, you know, I hope not. And the more, okay, so the character at the end of this journey, like, you know, towards the end of this writing, for this particular storyline, I'm like, wow, I just totally fell in love with the character. And I'm like, why? Because he was definitely afflicted. I'm just writing whatever Spirit gives me, it like imparts, and then I start writing. Or if I'm speaking to someone, like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, it influences, like, you know, events or whatever, just kind of remind me, okay, yeah, there are certain issues in a relationship that could come up. You know, there could be an infidelity maybe, or there could be, you know, just whatever could happen along the course. So that kind of plays in as I'm, you know, going on through the months or whatever and listening to people. So I present those issues. There's therapy, there's couples therapy, there's individual therapy. All of these things are coming in. Yes, and as I speak to people and I hear their stories and their traumas and whatnot, so it's important. So it's relatable, I think, although it is a bit of a, you know, it does go off into a fantasy world as well, but it does tackle those, it does present those issues, you know, things that I was listening to or hearing during the time. So while it was there, I had to write about it. I couldn't put it on hold because for the life of me, I can't just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to write about a certain thing. Like, no, it was literally, I call them enchantments. Like, literally, I'm waiting on Spirit. Like, okay, now's the time. And I'm writing. Like, it comes at a certain time. Like, I have nothing really to do with that. Like, when it's going to show up, what message it's going to be, I just wait. Or I just, you know, whenever it comes, and I have to start writing. I am an enchanted writer versus a creative writer, if that makes sense. Enchanted writing, maybe that should be the title of this devotion, not Fast Man, because I'm trying to dodge that one, Lord. I am all over the place. No. Okay. So, as I said, I fell in love with the character. Lord, this is my devotion. You have me unpacking spirits of therapists, basically. And, I'm like, what made me fall in love? Like, literally, because I was running in my mind. You know, I'm dreaming. I'm like, bye. Like, I tried to commit him, have him committed. I tried, like, just finding him someone else in the storyline. Like, no, you can have her. Just let me be. Like, bye. It's been real. Peace. Yeah. So, God is like, what are you doing? You can't just run off. Like, excuse me? Because that will come out in other aspects of my life. It's not just a fantasy, in other words. If I think I can get away with it, like in my head, like, nah, no, it's going to come up in other ways. Like, yeah, I get it, Lord. If that's who I am, if that's how I really feel. So Spirit's talking to me, it's counseling me. It's taking me to the water. It's taking me to people to hear their stories. I'm listening to vets. I'm listening to, you know, all types of stories, women. And I say vets because even in the novel, there's a campground. The character Knight, he's a humanitarian. And I know I keep going over this novel so many times, but it is what it is. And because he is a humanitarian, there's this campground for the, I guess, like the homeless. Let me back up. So as I mentioned, there are people that were just on my path during the writing. And I'm talking to this one guy that's a vet. And I've already had the idea, like, kind of download to me about campground where people can go. There's just tents. There's toiletries, there's showers, whatnot. There's music, there's ministry, you know, security, basically, for the ones that, you know, don't have a place, or they just will not be able to fit into a shelter environment or be able to fill out an application. They're just not able to do that for whatever reason. For it could be a disorder or an illness, you know, whatnot. They just prefer the open air, not necessarily something, you know, a disease or anything, but they just rather be out in the open, under the stars, right? So I'm talking to this guy, that's a vet, maybe in his 50s. And he's describing to me, I guess, the mental ward, or not the mental ward, but a place where, like a padded room. Maybe I should go into all of this here. But in short, everyone doesn't fit into that, the rehabs, or they are not going to not comply, but they're just, no, it doesn't work for everyone, period. And I wrote a poem about him as well, something separate. He's telling me, they tell you how to turn it on, but not how to turn it off. I'm like, okay. And he has anger management issues. And he's having to go to therapy because of something that he did. And he seems so sweet. He seems so nice, not to say that he isn't. But I mentioned that part of the story to him, and he's like, yeah. He tells me about, this room, padded room and whatnot. So in other words, it wasn't so far-fetched that whatever was downloading to me, that, everybody can't just go into a building, a closed, confined space, So the open air, the park, the campground is a place, so that's in the novel. So, so I see what Spirit is doing. It's bringing people into my path. It's, it's so romantic at the same time, like literally poetry. Like I couldn't write, like, I don't know, I'm gonna say I couldn't, but that's just the format. That's the way it came down to me, So anyways, the character of Night, and again, Holy Spirit dealing with me that no, I need to face and confront my issues and listen to him, what he's going through, and care. And I just have compassion and be like, okay, no, listen, take the steps. And so that's where the therapy comes in and all that good stuff. But I'm like, Lord, why did I fall in love with this character? Because he was definitely going through it. Like, what made me? And as I pondered this, it was how hard he fought to cross over. That is what made me fall in love with the character, is his fight to, I think, one, he saw that, okay, Reese character is not someone that is, attracted to fast men. That's where okay, I get it, Lord, fast men. She's just not, it doesn't appeal to her. She's different. She's just, she's, I guess, kind of natural or whatever. I don't do anything. I don't wear, whatever. But, not whatever, but that's just my, who I am. I'm not, like, my idea of a great time is a park. Like the night sky, like, God, if I could just get a telescope or something, I don't know, like I literally can just watch the birds and stare at the stars. So it does not faze me. But he is, I guess he's latched, or he's drawn, not latched, but he's I guess he really, I don't know, like I'm not Night, I'm not a man, but whatever he saw in me, and he didn't want to lose me, but he realizes, I can't. No, I think the way I pictured it, I imagined it. Oh God, Spirit, this is still rolling, isn't it? Lord, I'm on 38 minutes. Okay. The way I pictured it later, kind of like after the fact, was the reason he tried so hard was because he saw something real. Prior to that, he was fast, fast cars, fast life, fast women, it talks about that. But then he realizes, it's not cutting it. It's not going to do it. It's not going to do it, because what if something happens? What if you can't perform? What if you can't drive? What if you get sick? What if, you fall, you get injured? Something happens. You're burned. You're disfigured. You're wounded. The one that just wants someone fast and for their looks, whatever, is going to be like, okay, well, we had a good run. Bye. Maybe come around a couple of times and they're going to fade away. But someone that loves you for you won't do that. That's not even a consideration. Like, they're in it for life, right? Eternity. And so I think, I'm assuming That's what he saw, what he realized is that, oh, it does exist. I see you, Squirrely. Oh my goodness. Where'd you see you in the nursery. Wow. Oh, why do you look angry? Backing up from you. You like what's it? Oh my god, all the other ones are so friendly. Okay, maybe you're not angry, maybe you're just like, what are you doing? I'm getting you and the mushrooms. Squirrely, let's be friends. Diversion time. Spirit brought me here. Brought you here. The two of us. And the mushroom.